The fishing news is brought to you by Interlux Marine Paint and Okuma.
One more week. After this weekend, everything changes as we head in to the beginning of March. I'm Jim Hutchinson with the New Jersey Delaware Bay edition of the Fisherman magazine. Hopefully you've got them all dusted off, greased down, and spooled up, because as we get into March 1st next week, a lot of changes and a lot of new excitement to be had along the coast. Now, first and foremost is tautog and porgy. The action in New Jersey takes a break after Tuesday, the last day until later into 2017 for those particularly tasty fish that you find at the rec sites. Folks like the Barb Gale, they'll be chartering full bore into the late innings on Tuesday for blackfish. Again, blackfish season along the Jersey coast ends as of Tuesday and will not reopen again until April. Of course, down in Delaware and Maryland, those folks will continue to sail for blackfish through the spring months. Again, also porgies in New Jersey. We have a little break. We will be shutting down porgies after Tuesday along the Jersey coast. Will not reopen again until July. The offshore action, however, for those big hubcaps has been pretty darn good. So good that the Jamaica is going to pick up 2 final trips this weekend, both Saturday and Sunday. They will be sailing offshore for those cod and jumbo porgies as well. But now, of course, by Wednesday of next week, March 1st, we will be transitioning along the Jersey coast especially into striped bass and winter flounder. And, well, I guess we have to give some to get some back, right? Now, after Surf Day this past Saturday, some folks just couldn't wait any longer. We talked about that last week. Went out to the frontside beaches to give some of that gear a shot and ended up pulling a few of those little residents out of the wash. Petey at Charlie's Bait and Tackle in Normandy Beach, he had Todd DeFilippis checked in over the weekend with a rat or two, a couple of resident stripers. We've heard more about that. Heard of some possible fish around the Point Pleasant area. Had some resident stripers out in Seagirt as well. Mostly little guys out there whacking plastics. Great light tackle fare. Of course, folks will be absolutely going gonzo on Wednesday, throwing those plastics in the warm water discharges when striped bass officially opens in the state of New Jersey on March 1st. That little gonzo girl. Thanks, Captain Allen, for sending that along. Now, a year ago, on March 1st, Matt Calabria, he ended up taking the first keeper striper of the 2016 season. He caught that fish up north and brought it down to Absecon Bay Sportsman to take advantage of that first cash prize there with Dave. Although Dave reminded me that Trevor Daniels actually had a local fish just a little bit later on after Matt's weigh-in. That was a Mullica River fish. So definitely with a mild winter this year, you would expect to find some of those striped bass and some keeper size as well, probably biting early into next week. Bloods or clams for those opting to soak one along the sod bank. Of course, the plastics in the creek or out front. White perch upriver and in the lagoons, they've been coming on strong as well. The last few weeks, we've gotten some good reports on white perch. You might want to give that a shot with some grass shrimp, maybe a jig head in some of those lagoons or canals as well. Now, we're kind of doing anniversaries here. February 22nd, 2011. Yeah, it was 6 years ago this week that Governor Christie signed the Free Fishing Register into law here in the state of New Jersey. So as you're getting ready to get out there in the salt, don't forget, you have to register again. It is free, but you can get all the details by going to saltwaterregistry.nj.gov. Very easy to remember, but make sure before you put a line in the salt water this year, make sure you're registered. In Delaware, the best thing I can offer is to go type Delaware fishing license into Bing or into Google. You'll want to make sure that you get that Delaware saltwater fishing license, and also make sure to get the fishery or fishing identification number, the FIN number, to make sure you're legal and up and running. Now, the Fisherman magazine, we're back on the road this week. We're going to be out in Oaks, Pennsylvania for the Greater Philadelphia Outdoor Sports Show. That's Thursday through Sunday at the Greater Philly Expo Center. Stop by the booth, get your free pliers, the gift for getting your new or renewing subscription to the Fisherman magazine. You can find out all the details on this show. It's a great event for hunting and fishing. You can go over and find that information at thefisherman.com. We will have copies of the March edition hot off the presses this week. We'll be giving those away to folks at the show. Of course, you subscribers, you'll get that in your mailbox sometime this week. You'll also find it on newsstands. In that March edition, we've got some great stuff on spring action to get you awake and shaking the cobwebs, getting out there and catching a few fish. We've also got more information on the fluke fiasco along the coast. I would remind you that in the magazine, we're talking about a meeting coming up on March 2nd. Just got notification this week that the New Jersey Marine Fisheries Council will not be meeting on March 2nd. Because fluke is so up in the air at this point, they have postponed that meeting. So no meeting next week. But as we get more details on this summer flounder season and what we're going to see in 2017, just make sure to follow along at thefisherman.com. So we're entering the transition, out with some of the good, but in with some of the better. I expect next week we'll have reports right here on the first keeper striped bass of the 2017 season. I'm all excited to go. Hopefully you are as well. We'll see you this weekend in Oaks. Catch 'em up and see you next week at thefisherman.com.
The fishing news is brought to you by Intellux Marine Paint and Okuma.